right, we're on record because there's been a request to appoint a guardian and conservator for Mr. Robert Ewing. We have the names of our participants beginning in the courtroom.
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian Litem. I have submitted a report, Your Honor.
Your name?
Rebecca Elizabeth Blank, spelled REBECCA
And are you related to Mr. Ewing?
Yes, I am. I am his only daughter.
Thank you.
And power of attorney both ways, and he has later deeded the house to me. I have documents to submit.
Okay, right now we're just doing introductions. Okay, let's go online. Mr. Askew.
Good morning, Your Honor. William Askew, appearing on behalf of the petitioner.
And if you could either introduce or ask your client to introduce themselves, please.
Mr.
Jacob.
Scott, would you kindly introduce yourself?
Yeah. Jacob Scott, Social Service Director.
Michelle
Yeah.
Monk.
Okay,
Michelle?
hang on. Where is Mr. Scott, the director, at?
Oh, sorry, Spring Creek Nursing Home.
Thank you.
Michelle Monk, Business Office Manager of Spring Creek.
Could you spell your last name, please?
MONK.
And you said you are, sorry, the business manager?
Business Office, yes.
Oh, thank you. Anyone else from Spring Creek?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, is Mr. Robert Ewing with us from Spring Creek today?
He is not, I offered, he is not feeling well and he declined to come.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we have a lot of other people logged in. Let's start with whoever's logged in here under Joanne Vance. Are you here on the Ewing matter? Okay, I'll need you to unmute and let me know, please, whoever's logged in under Joanne Vance, if you're here on the Ewing matter.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room. I have somebody under Harvey's iPhone. Are you here on the Ewing matter today?
No, I'm not.
And a Samsung device with a gentleman who's got his video on, which I appreciate, 52592S1 or 21U. If you could let me know if you're here on the Robert Ewing matter. You're on mute. You are muted. You'll have to unmute on your end. Okay, so who's the gentleman coming in from his car in a blue shirt? Are you here on the Ewing matter?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, if you could introduce yourself, please.
My name is Milton Kelsey, Kelsey.
First name again, please.
Milton, Milton, Kelsey.
And,
I'm Bob's brother-in-law.
Okay, are you mean Mr. Robert Ewing's brother-in-law?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's it for our participants. Although I did have who's joining us from phone number ending in 7933. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Your Honor. It's Karen Mueller for the Ewing case.
Thank you. Welcome. Okay, you're our last participant. Everybody is here. On behalf of petitioner, Mr. Askew, would you like to begin, or would you like us to go to Mr. McFarland for his summation of his investigation? Any preference?
Your Honor, I am happy either way. I can begin if the court would like.
Mr. McFarland, do you have a preference?
Perhaps a brief summation would be helpful to the counter petitioner, Your Honor.
Let's do it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Your Honor, I went to visit Mr. Ewing at the facility. He was completely unable to communicate whatsoever. He couldn't even move his thumb up on that day to signal a yes or no. So he is unable, he was wheelchair bound. So he was unable to communicate in any fashion with me or express a need. The staff there indicates that there is a durable power of attorney and a patient advocate naming Ms. Bank I did receive those. They appear to be valid documents. They've also indicated that there is a ladybird deed, and Ms. Bank presented that to me, that her father executed to her on the house. Apparently when Mr. Ewing did have his faculties about him, he met with his daughter, and the money that was supposed to go to the facility actually went to pay the mortgage on his house. Right now, it's about $12,000 when I prepared this report in arrears to the facility, to the nursing home, Your Honor. Nursing home says that his daughter has not come to visit him, has not participated, is not doing anything regarding his payment to the facility, knowing that he's now unable to make decisions. Speaking to Ms. Banks, she indicates that she has been barred from the facility, so she's unable to do that. So we do have contradicting testimony there. There is some personal history of Ms. Banks that is concerning to me. And
Banks
that,
or blank?
I'm sorry, Ms. Banks. That is concerning to me. And she revealed this, that there was a sex crime conviction. She said it was expunged. I did discover 2 felony counts of assaulting a police officer, 2 misdemeanor counts of attempting damage to property, a misdemeanor count invasion of privacy, resulting in a felony guilty plea of assaulting, resisting, obstructing a police officer. I could not locate the sexual convictions, but that was told to me by Mrs. Banks. I do have a letter that I do wish to introduce when it's appropriate. I have shared that with the attorney for the agency. I think it, and correspondence I've had with Ms. Banks says regardless of what happens at this hearing, she's going to remove her father from the facility, whether the court rules for her or not, Your Honor. So I do have a lot of concerns. I'm not sure that she would be able to deal with any facility or any authority based on my discussions and correspondence she has sent. So I would not support her, even though there is an existing power of attorney, patient advocate form. She's not been utilizing that. And I think her history puts her at risk. I think her personality, unfortunately, puts her at risk of being able to care for her father's needs rather than making it personal, Your Honor. I think we need to have the approved, already vetted, proposed guardian and conservator, Your Honor. That's my position.
All right, Ms. Blank, we're going to give you an opportunity to speak, but the court rules dictate that our petitioner goes first. So we're going to go to Mr. Askew next, but you will have an opportunity. I just want to let you know. Mr. Askew.
Thank you. I'll call Jacob Scott, Your Honor.
All right, I take it you don't want to utilize any time for opening comments.
I do not.
Very good. All right, Deputy Agent, please swear in Mr. Scott.
Mr. Scott, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Scott, what is your occupation?
Social service director at Spring Creek.
And have you had the opportunity over the last couple of years to become acquainted with Mr. Ewing?
I have.
Would you summarize his health status for the court?
When he first arrived, he was in decent health. His cognition was good. But these last couple months, he's been steadily declining cognitively and physically. Like Mr. McFarland said, it's very hard to even get anything out of him at this point. He does have some good days, but most days are not very good.
Does he rely upon staff for assistance with his ADLs?
Yes, all ADLs.
Is he able to function independently with any of his ADLs?
No.
Mr. Askew, just for purposes of the record, if you could articulate fully what ADL means.
Of course, Your Honor, I should have done that and I apologize. By ADL, I mean activities of daily living.
No, he relies on staff for all ADLs.
Does he have trouble communicating?
Yes.
Have you administered or has a BIMS, which is a test which does measure cognitive impairment? Has one of those been administered anytime recently?
Yes, one was administered actually on January 22nd. I caught him at a decent day. It takes time, but he was only able to say my 3 words back to me, but it took about 5 minutes. And that was it. He was not able to recall the year, the month, the day of the week, or recall any of the 3 words.
Do you recall the score?
Yes, a 3 out of 15.
What does that imply, or what does that establish?
It establishes severe cognitive impairment. 0 to 7 is severe cognitive impairment.
Are you familiar with the report of physician or mental health professional signed by Dr. Baez on November 13, 2025?
Yes.
Does it support the appointment of a plenary or full guardian?
Yes.
All right. Have care conferences been given on a regular basis for Mr. Ewing?
Yes.
Are they given quarterly?
Yes.
Do you know the last time his daughter Rebecca, and I believe the last name is Blank, do you know the last time that Ms. Blank attended a care conference?
I believe we invited November or December of 2024.
Has she appeared for or attended any of her father's care conferences since then?
No.
One moment, Mr. Askew. Ms. Blank, I did hear the use of profanity, and I'm going to need you to refrain from doing that in order to avoid things like contempt of court or removal from the courtroom. Understood? Thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Askew.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you know when Ms. Blank last visited her father?
I do not.
Do you know whether she has visited her father in the last year?
I do not believe she has. Unless she came after, like in the weekends or something, but not to my knowledge of seeing her.
Have you or any employee at your facility, to the best of your knowledge, ever told Ms. Blank that she is not permitted to visit her father?
Absolutely not. No one's ever not allowed to visit their family member.
Would you describe the relationship from your perspective between Ms. Blank and the staff at the facility?
It was very, very controversial and aggressive when the building started receiving his patient pay to pay for him to be here monthly. Once that started, she became very angry and upset.
Was that back in 2024, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Have you interacted with her in the last year?
No.
I have nothing further of this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Scott, did you say something about after a transition of payment? Could you describe that a little bit better for me?
Michelle would be able to explain it better, but from my understanding, once it was signed to where his patient pay, which the state of Michigan sets the amount, once that was coming to our facility to pay for his stay, and not paying for his home anymore, that's when she became very angry because the house payment wasn't being paid anymore because we were being paid because he was here to be long-term care.
And when was that approximately?
March 13th, 2024.
So you have been getting paid monthly for his care since then, is that?
Yes,
reasonable?
yes.
And is Mr. McFarland's summation accurate that there's approximately $12,000 in arrearages at this point
Yes,
that haven't been paid? And has that amount been outstanding since prior to that direct patient pay was in place?
yes.
Does he have any other financial needs that are being neglected or ignored?
No.
Thank you. Mr. McFarland, questions?
Yes, did Ms. Bank know, you said, well, it was 3 months ago that you felt that Mr. Ewing couldn't make the decisions on his own. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay. Did Ms. Blank know of his condition, that he was unable to make any decisions, not capable of making decisions on his own, his decline in health that you're aware of?
She was not, because she indicated in a voicemail that she did not want to be contacted any longer until he passed away.
Did she indicate why?
No, it was, I can read you, would you like me to read you what she left us?
Did you make notes about what she left at the time she left it?
Yes, we have it as a transcribed voicemail.
Is what you testified an accurate rendition? What you
Say
just
that-
told us now?
Say that
Go
again.
ahead, tell us what your notes say. Sure.
Okay. So this was from 8/5/24. This is Rebecca Blank about Robert Ewing. Do not send me any more bills. I will no longer have control of his income. You guys do. You guys do not need to take, you guys need to take his $60 a month that is allowed and put it towards his bill. Do not send me any more correspondence until he dies.
Okay. So you're understanding that she is living in his home?
It's the last, as we knew from previous, yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect, Mr. Askew?
No, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
Yes, I would call Michelle Monk.
Okay, she's, oh, there she is. Here, there she is. Deputy.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Good morning, Ms. Monk. Would you please state your name and occupation?
My name is Michelle Monk, and I'm the business office manager at Spring Creek.
All right. Do you have personal knowledge of the financial account that Mr. Ewing has with the facility?
Yes,
Have you received some correspondence from time to time from your administrator that Ms. Blank has written to the facility?
yes,
Did you receive a letter postmarked January 2 of 2025 from Ms. Blank to the facility?
yes,
Do you have that letter nearby?
yes,
In that letter, did she write that Spring Creek is responsible for her father's funeral and cremation expenses?
yes,
Did she write that if Spring Creek does not apply the $60 per month to his personal expenses, that she would sue Spring Creek and get the Hillsdale Sheriff's Department involved?
yes,
Did she also write that Spring Creek is the reason why she does not visit?
yes,
Is there a balance currently on Mr. Ewing's account?
yes.
How much is the balance?
$12,669.
There was some testimony by Mr. Scott that in 2024, Spring Creek applied for, I believe, and became the the representative payee of Mr. Ewing's social security payments. Is that your understanding?
Yes,
And at that time, is it your understanding that his social security payments began to be directed to Spring Creek for his benefit?
Yes,
Does Spring Creek keep detailed notes that are dated about material events that occur in conjunction with your residence accounts?
yes,
All right. Do you have detailed notes going back to March of 2024 indicating that an APS file, that's Adult Protective Services, file was opened against Ms. Blank for financial exploitation?
yes,
Did APS notify you of that fact?
yes,
Did Social Security notify you in March of 2024 on a couple of occasions indicating that after the representative payee status changed from Ms. Blank to Spring Creek, that Ms. Blank attempted to have it changed back to herself?
yes,
And did the Social Security Administration confirm those facts to you?
yes.
All right. Would you describe the relationship from your perspective between Ms. Blank and Spring Creek?
When it came to money is when she would get upset and irate.
Okay. What is the present status of the relationship, if you know?
There is none.
Have you ever told Ms. Blank that she's not allowed to visit her father?
Absolutely not.
Do you know of any staff at Spring Creek that would ever say something like that to her?
Absolutely not.
Would that violate your policy?
Absolutely.
I have nothing further to this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland, any questions?
Just one question. Do you know if APS substantiated anything with Ms. Blank?
I do not.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any other witnesses, Mr. Askew?
Yes, I would call Ms. Blank for brief testimony.
All right, I do have an 11:30 scheduled. It should only take a few minutes. So before we go to her testimony, I'd like to take a brief recess. We'll take care of that matter, and then that way we'll have fewer limitations on the time frame for Ms. Blank's testimony.
Wonderful, thank you.
We are back on record. We've got all of our same parties and participants, so welcome back, everyone. Mr. Askew, are you ready to proceed with testimony from Ms. Blank?
I am, Your Honor. I wanted to mention one thing before we start that. Mr. McFarland had mentioned a letter that he may be admitting into the evidence. I will refer to that letter during my examination of Ms. Blank. If it's possible, I'm not in the courtroom, unfortunately, but if it's possible, may we mark, Mr. McFarland, may we mark a copy of that letter and submit it to the court? And
I'm just
Ms.
going to
Blank?
do that. I have a copy for Ms. Blank.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Deputy James, would you swear in Ms. Blank for us?
Yes, you can remain seated, but raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
So, Ms. Blank, I'm just gonna shortcut our attorneys a little bit. From what I understand so far, this is a letter maybe that you wrote, is that right?
Yes.
Do you have a problem with me looking at it?
No.
Okay, all right, I'll receive it then, and we'll mark it as exhibit 1, and you can just take that copy with you and come on up to our witness stand. You're our first witness, and you don't have to take it if you don't want to, but if they want to refer to it, having a copy might be handy for you, but I will need you to come to our witness stand.
You comfortable wearing your coat? Because you can take it off if you want.
Yes.
Okay, there's a step here, be careful.
And just so you know, Mr. Askew will have the opportunity to ask you some questions since he's called you as a witness. Then Mr. McFarland and I will give you the opportunity to just go ahead and speak freely as well at some point, once that's finished. Askew, you may begin with any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Ms. Blank, good afternoon. Can you tell the court the approximate time frame or date of this letter that we're looking at Exhibit 1?
Within the last month.
Okay. Did you believe the state? Go ahead.
After I received the petition in the mail, after I received the threatening letter in the mail, that this was going on. After January 3rd, I received it.
Ms. Blank, do you believe that all of the statements in your letter are true and accurate?
Yes,
I believe it's the second sentence in the letter. It states, and I quote, Jessica Bradley, strike that. It states, and I quote, this all started with Jessica Bradley sticking her big fat nose in where it didn't and doesn't belong, end quote. Is Jessica Bradley with APS?
in Hillsdale County, yes.
All right. In the next sentence, it states that she was going behind my back to complete her agenda of tearing my family apart. Do you believe that she was trying to tear your family apart?
Yes, I do.
All right. Several lines down, about 7 lines down, I'll quote the next statement, or that statement by you. Quote, Jessica Bradley forced my dad to go to Spring Creek Nursing and Rehabilitation Center upon her choice because she wanted to keep us apart and kill my family, end quote. Do you believe that?
Yes,
And why do you believe that she wanted to kill your family?
she had a personal vendetta against us. She had been working against us prior to my father going into the hospital to get treated for dislocated shoulder. And suddenly she shows up. I don't know who contacted her, but suddenly she shows up in his room at the Hillsdale Hospital and immediately taking over and without permission, without contact, that she obtained verbal consent from my father without my mother's knowing, my knowing. My mother had power of attorney over my dad at the time until she died on May 12th of 2023. Jessica Bradley whisked him away from Hillsdale Hospital and to Spring Creek, where he now is residing. Has hostage for money. He was supposed to come home immediately upon release from recovery from his dislocated shoulder. Since then, they manipulated and changed his ruling to long-term for their benefit.
In the next sentence, you state, and I quote, well, she succeeded with killing off my mom, but I've never neglected my father in spite of all of the verbal, mental, and physical abuse that mom and I have been forced to endure for over 40 plus years. He has put us through hell, and he's unforgivable. You're talking about your dad here, Mr. Ewing, correct?
Yes,
Is it your testimony that he physically and mentally abused you and your mother,
yes,
and that you cannot forgive him?
correct. But that does not have anything to do with my ability to care for him.
Very well, thank you. I want to go to page 2. About 14 lines down, the context is protective services and then Spring Creek, and then you say, and I quote, they are the reason that we haven't visited for a while, and every time I always left bawling my eyes out. They have fraudulently stolen my dad's Social Security income several times behind our backs and undermined my dad's attempt at allowing me to become his representative payee over his income. End quote. So do you believe that Spring Creek is stealing your dad's money?
To a point, yes. Because they're not using it to benefit him, and they're just keeping it away from us, and they're keeping me away from him. And All they want is money. They don't care about him. They're not using it to care for him.
You know whether the money that, the Social Security money that Spring Creek is receiving is going toward his expenses of residency at Spring Creek?
It doesn't cost that much to care for him.
How
And
much?
they're not living up to the expectations.
So when you say it doesn't cost that much, do you know the amount of his monthly Social Security benefits?
No, because I haven't gotten a statement lately.
What was it when you were receiving it?
I wasn't receiving it. It was going directly deposited into his account at the third bank,
How much per month was it?
around $1,100, $1,200, I'm guessing.
Can you repeat that, please? I did not understand
I'm
you.
guessing around $1,100, $1,200, and everything was going towards bills.
Your testimony is that you don't believe it costs $1,100 or $1,200 per month in expenses for your father's residency. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I want to go to the next page, which is page 3. And it's the last full sentence on the page at the bottom. And I quote, "As for the accusation of abandonment and not wanting anything to do with him and not wanting to be responsible for his finances, that is all false lies because Spring Creek is greedy and exploits and abuses and neglects my dad," end quote. And do you believe that statement?
Yes.
All right. On page 4, this is probably 14 or 15 lines down. And the sentence begins with "I suspect," and so I will quote that sentence here. "I suspect Jessica Bradley herself, and if not, if he signed himself in, he was under pressure and drugged from pain medication from Hillsdale Hospital, who also is ultimately involved in the lies and tearing apart of my family," end quote. So you also believe not only in addition to APS and Jessica Bradley and Spring Creek, but you believe that Hillsdale Hospital also is responsible for tearing apart your family. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then down about 8 lines, a couple of sentences, and I'll quote them. "As for the $12,000 they claim is owed, I told them on several occasions to take his $60 allowance for personal things and apply that every month to his outrageously exploited bill. Obviously, they refused and are embezzling in their own pockets because they are not using it for him at all. They will drop the accusations and demands for the $12,000, and they will pay $60 million to the family for fraud, abuse, neglect, and exploitation, tax-free," end quote. You made this statement about a month ago,
Yes.
and you believe that the facility, that Spring Creek, should pay the family $60 million tax-free?
Yes.
You believe that the $12,000 and change, that bill that we discussed a little while ago, is an outrageously exploited bill?
Yes.
And you believe that Spring Creek is embezzling your father's funds?
Yes.
Do you currently pay rent?
No.
You're living rent-free in your father's home, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested or convicted of any crimes?
Yes.
Can you please summarize those crimes?
both crimes were false imprisonments because I was not read my rights. My rights were taken away from me. I was not allowed to talk to a lawyer, much less, I don't know where they got the pleas. And what is recorded is based on biased cops, biased judges, biased lawyers.
And what are the crimes?
I was trying to defend my home, my parents' home, because the neighbor put a stake in our driveway illegally, entering the property and putting a stake in the driveway because she believes she owns the whole area. I attempted to calmly talk to her and she refused. So the police were called and I was ripped out of my home in front of family, in front of friends, young people included, tased and thrown in the car and yelled at me that she's 83 years old, she can do whatever she wants. So there
What
went
were
my right to speech.
Okay. What were the
The other
crimes?
time was down at the Hillsdale Fairgrounds in the old building before they tore it down and built this new one. At the south end and for the flea market. I was forced into a lewd act and I was not allowed to say my piece then either.
Okay, what crimes were you charged with?
I can't
If you-
remember exactly. That was a long time ago and I did my time and that should be dropped. It has no bearing on this case.
All right. What crimes, if you remember, were you convicted of?
One says something about a police officer. That's not true. One says lewd sexual act. I was forced into it. I was not allowed to say my piece. I was a victim. And they equated me with the idiot the perpetrator. Falsely equated with the perpetrator. Was not allowed to say my piece.
Are you employed?
No.
Are you disabled from employment?
Yes.
Can you share with the court the nature of your disability?
Physically and mentally, I am disabled.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that, please?
Physically and mentally, I am disabled. I have manic depression, anxiety. I cannot lift my arm only that high to do anything. I'm slow.
Do you receive Social Security disability?
Very little.
So you do
Very
receive,
little.
but you do receive it.
Just enough to joke at. And I'm supposed to live on that, pay my bills on that. I don't know how. That
How
doesn't
many
even
years-
stretch the first week of the month.
How many years ago were you, did you qualify for Social Security disability, Ms. Blank?
2010.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Blank. Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness at this time.
Mr. McFarland?
Did I hear you say that you thought your dad was not mentally competent when he was transferred from Hillsdale Hospital to Spring Creek? Did I hear you say that?
In a way, yes.
Okay. Wasn't it at Spring Creek that he designated you as his power of attorney and patient advocate?
After my mother had passed and lost her power of attorney. It was on a good day.
But generally, he was having bad days. Is that what I hear?
Yes.
And I understand at one time that he met with you and money was diverted from payment of Spring Creek to make delinquent payments on the house where you're living, his house. Is that correct?
There was no mortgage on the house. It was monthly bills.
And about how much money did he divert from Spring Creek to pay bills? Do you know?
I don't know. All I know is everything went to pay the bills. Nothing came to me personally. It was all to pay the bills.
My understanding also in the letter, you said that your mother and I believe you were assaulted by your dad when you were younger. Is that correct?
Yes,
You also left a verbal message at my office that if you don't prevail here today, you're going to remove your dad one way or another. You remember saying that?
I was very angry and upset and confused and frustrated.
But you said that.
I may have, I don't know. A lot has happened since January 3rd.
Do you wish to withdraw your petition to be his guardian?
No, I do not.
Your intention be to remove him? If you were appointed as guardian and conservator, would you remove him from Spring Creek?
With the intention of bringing him to Hillsdale County Medical Care Facility so that I may do my duties and may visit him.
What would you do with as a conservator? You'd be in charge of his funds, correct?
And they would get all of his money, yes.
Would Spring Creek get what's owed to them?
If they validly prove that that's what we owe,
Are you saying that the invoices are not enough to prove it?
correct. It's all based on opinion because they want more money than they are not entitled to. They have forcibly obtained his income behind our back and behind his back at least 2, possibly 3 times. And this last final time, I was forced to give up because I was threatened not to come back. Every time I was there, I was attacked for money. They did not speak to me at all hospitably.
Pled guilty to an assaulting, resisting, obstructing a police officer in Hillsdale, correct?
I did not plead guilty. Somebody pled that for me.
Okay. And then there's also a guilty plea on the lewd sexual conduct that you referenced. Right?
Also falsely accused and entered.
But both of these were entered, correct?
Yes.
Okay, nothing further.
All right, well, as promised, I'm gonna give you your opportunity to speak. Would you like to do it here? Or would you like to return to your seat and say your piece?
Whichever of you listen to more closely.
Well, I can hear you from both locations, so
Okay.
whatever's comfortable for you.
Okay. Okay, I will answer any questions that you may have.
I don't have any questions. Is there anything else you wanted to say today?
I just want to say that this is if this is to allow to go through, Spring Creek is responsible for us, my husband and I, and our pets being forced out on the street to freeze to death with nothing. And that is inhumane. You wouldn't do that to a dog. Why would you do that to me?
Okay, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I wish to have a relationship with my father in Hillsdale where I can afford to see him for whatever's left of the rest of his and my life. He does not deserve to be treated like this, abused for money, held hostage for money outside of Hillsdale County. I cannot afford to come all this way every time and then be attacked about money and be leaving in tears and angry. I live on a very low fixed income. I cannot afford I was not told I was supposed to be there minimum of 2 times a month. I cannot afford to be there 2 times a month. And I don't believe I should be treated poorly because of it, or my father treated poorly because of this. He deserves to come back to Hillsdale County and die in peace and dignity. Right now, he does not have that peace and dignity.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Unless Mr. Askew, did you have any redirect or anything else you wanted to go through on the record?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. McFarland?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat. Okay, any other witnesses, Mr. Askew?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. Thank you. We rest.
Mr. McFarland?
I have no witnesses.
Okay, all right. Ms. Blank, is there anyone else that you wanted us to hear from today?
Well, my uncle is up on the screen, Milton Kelsey. I would like him to speak if he needs to speak on my behalf or my father's behalf.
Sure, Deputy Ames, Mr. Milton Kelsey, please.
Please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Can you unmute and then answer, please?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, did you have any specific questions for him, or would you just like him to be invited to speak if he has anything to say about this?
Just be invited to speak if he has anything to say about it.
Okay, Mr. Kelsey, what's happening here today is they're asking the court to appoint someone to make financial and care decisions for Robert Ewing. And the question is, should that person be an independent person or should that be Ms. Blank? As I make that decision, is there anything you'd like me to know about in order to help me make that decision?
But the only thing I've really got to say is that I can attest to the fact of Becky coming back from Spring Creek several times in tears and saying they told me not to come back. So, yeah, I can attest to her coming back. I have not been there. I've not been to Spring Creek. I actually haven't visited with Robert in probably 4 years. So his state and everything, I'm not sure about. I heard what was witnessed today, and it sounds pretty bad. But I do know that if someone takes the house out of Rebecca's hands, that her and her husband would be out on the street. They tried looking for other places to go, and they've been turned down everywhere they've gone. So that's all I've got to say right now.
They might not be paying rent, but it's because they
Any questions for this witness, Mr. Askew?
No, Your Honor.
it's
Mr.
because
McFarland?
None.
they're to take care of her.
Hey, thank you for your testimony.
You're welcome.
Anyone else you'd like us to hear from?
I would, but everybody's fighting me getting a lawyer.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I just don't want any more negativity. I'm trying to fight for my father's rights and my rights and what is right, and all of this seems so wrong.
Any other comments today, Mr. Askew?
I'll just make a very brief some comments, Your Honor, if I may. Your Honor, I believe that the issues that I've been focusing on that may be relevant to the court are suitability, number one. Number two, whether she has fulfilled her responsibilities as patient advocate. Number three, credibility. And number 4, just how she views the house. As far as suitability, Your Honor, I think the evidence is overwhelming that, with all due respect, she is not a suitable candidate to serve as a guardian or a conservator in this case. She does have some mental and physical health impairments. The nature of them, I'm not sure. I believe she mentioned manic depression and anxiety. And perhaps that explains some of the testimony that we've heard today, some of the statements that she has made, really going back now to 2024. Your Honor, I do not believe that she is suitable. She has accused Spring Creek, Hillsdale Hospital, Jessica Bradley, and APS of being responsible for tearing apart her family, killing her mother, wanting to kill her father, and a number of egregious financial crimes of exploitation, as well as abuse and neglect of her father. I don't believe that her accusations are grounded in reality. She's accused the police, judges, and lawyers of being crooked. And I don't believe that those allegations are grounded in reality. She takes no responsibility for her past actions. I don't believe that the fiduciary responsibilities that she must fulfill as a guardian and conservator can be met based on her current health status and state of mind. As far as her past responsibilities as a patient advocate, she claims she was not allowed into the facility. I don't believe her claim is valid or credible. There's been testimony that the facility has never asked her not to visit her father. She has threatened to remove her father by force or peacefully if she doesn't prevail today. She doesn't deny that. And yet the facility basically has to wait until something bad happens before it can protect her father or protect its residents. There's no restraining order now. Nothing has prevented her from coming in. The evidence shows that she made it clear back in 2024 and again in 2025, do not send correspondence until my father dies. And her actions since then have suggested that was her state of mind. She was not going to have contact with him or visit him until he dies. If she felt she was wrongfully being denied access to him, she certainly could have done something about it. I don't believe, Your Honor, it's a credible claim that she was denied access to her father at all. And finally, the issue of credibility here. I don't really have a lot to say about it. I think it's obvious. The court has to weigh the credibility of the witnesses and the evidence. And I believe that the credibility of Ms. Blank is very much in peril. I don't believe that she has reasonable credibility. I think that the relationship between she and the custodian of her father, the facility, is horrible. It is poor. And I think it all started when the the Social Security was transferred from her care to the facility. When that happened, everything spoiled and everything changed. As far as the house is owned by her father. It is not her house as she stated it was. And her uncle even stated, if the house is out of her hands, it never was in her hands. The house belongs to her father and she's not paying rent. And that's a reality. So for all of the foregoing reasons, I would request that the petition be granted and that Monroe County Public Guardian be appointed. Thank you very much.
Nasty.
Let's hear from Mr. McFarland next.
Your Honor, I'm sorry that she was abused by her father as a youngster. Her words, it was hell. I think that perhaps skews her ability to deal with some of these issues. I do acknowledge that there appears to be a legal, authentic durable power of attorney and a patient advocate. I don't think there's any way that she can fulfill her obligations to do that, as she'll be communicating with the current facility. And in his physical state of need, I think he really needs to remain there. I visited him. I've seen him there. He's well cared for. And I've visited many individuals in that facility. So I don't think there's any negligence occurring. We have a history, admitted conviction of assault. I don't know that wouldn't happen in this situation with staff. I don't think she can control herself because of her disabilities. I do support the petition for the guardian and conservator independent from Lenawee County. I believe it's Ms. Mueller. If listening to all this, she wishes to still accept that responsibility.
You had one more thing you wanted to say?
The reason I am not paying rent, number one, I can't afford to. Number two, it would go against my father's Medicaid.
Well, the court finds all interested parties were notified for purposes of today's hearing. I have had the opportunity to hear from multiple witnesses, both where Mr. Robert Ewing is staying, as well as family members. I've heard a lot about the assets. We have the investigation of Mr. McFarland. And of course, the report of physician to support the petition. The first piece the court must look at is whether or not the granting an appointment of a guardian or a conservator is necessary based on whether or not an individual is an incapacitated person. And we had the testimony of Mr. Scott to confirm that the activities of daily living for Mr. Ewing which would include things like eating, toileting, feeding himself, even to an extent understanding where he is, what day it is, and what time it is, are all activities that he continues to rely on staff for at Spring Creek. That was undisputed. We did have, of course, the disagreement of Ms. Blank on the conclusions of the physician's report, at least tangentially. However, the physician does indicate that as a physician in family medicine, as a result of an evaluation on October 20th, 2025, verified on November 13th, 2025, that there were a number of diagnoses for Mr. Ewing, including advanced Huntington's disease with dementia, impaired judgment, it's handwriting of the doctor. Impaired judgment and expansive aphasia, dysphagia, recurrent choking. I can't read the next one, but there is a note he's wheelchair bound. He requires assistance with activities of daily living and is a poor historian. Cognitive impairment limits ability to understand, process, or recall information. Expressive aphasia prevents reliable communication of delusions and preferences. Poor judgment, insight prevents ability to weigh risks and benefits. And I can't read the rest of that one, I should say. There is an extensive list attached of medications intended to alleviate the symptoms associated with the diagnoses. Nevertheless, Mr. Bays found Mr. Ewing not presently able to make informed decisions in the areas of determining where to live, consenting to supportive services, handling personal financial affairs, and authorizing or refusing medical treatment, with a prognosis for improvement as poor. Progression and irreversible decline is expected with the Huntington's disease. So I do have clear and convincing evidence as a result of both that document and the testimony, and of course supported by Mr. McFarland's conclusions as well during his investigation, that this is an incapacitated person as the law describes it. The next question is, of course, does he need a guardian or a conservator? The statutes, of course, compel the court to recognize and honor a power of attorney or a durable power of attorney or a patient advocate in the event that that's done as a way of honoring the wishes of Mr. Ewing or anyone who executes such a document. However, those obligations do come with fiduciary obligations. The paramount one is to make decisions in all of the areas that the doctor indicated that Mr. Ewing is not able to, and to dutifully perform the necessary actions to make the best decisions for Mr. Ewing in determining where he should live, in consenting to supportive services, in handling his personal financial affairs, and in authorizing or refusing medical treatment. I can appreciate the testimony of Ms. Blank that she wishes to be the person making these decisions, but it's undisputed that she hasn't had any contact with Spring Creek in a significant amount of time. She's not taking part in the care conferences, which of course would include the aspects of making choices about his care, paying attention to what his diagnoses are and what his needs are. She's indicated she'd like to move him to Hillsdale, but she's had the authority to do that for a significant period of time. And obviously the relationship that she has with Spring Creek and their staff deteriorated after Spring Creek began to receive the funds that it needed in order to continue to house Mr. Ewing. And that contentious relationship has clearly gotten in the way of Ms. Blank's willingness and abilities to perform her duties as a guardian, or not as a guardian, but as a patient advocate on behalf of her father, leaving Spring Creek without anyone to make those decisions for significant care decisions, participate in care conferences, or to otherwise provide for Mr. Ewing, who is clearly in a very advanced state of ill health at this point, but has had many opportunities for that along the way that unfortunately were not opportunities that Ms. Blank was able to take advantage of in order to intervene with or help make any decisions.
Because I was
for her
not allowed.
father. You'll have to, if you'd like to hear the rest of what I have to say, you'll have to refrain from interrupting. So I can't find that allowing the durable power of attorney, the patient advocate appointment is serving Mr. Ewing's interest, that's something that's been demonstrated by Ms. Blank, and it's really not contested. Her testimony is, of course, that she thinks that she's been barred from making those decisions. And although I'm sure that there were interactions that were negative between her and the staff at Spring Creek, unfortunately, that's not the proper way to handle that as a patient advocate. Your obligation is first and foremost to figure out how to deal with Spring Creek and to figure out what is in the best interest for Mr. Robert Ewing, regardless of whether or not you get into an argument with the staff at the care home. It's a patient advocate cannot simply just walk away and not have any interaction with the facility that is currently caring for the person that the patient advocate is supposed to be making decisions on. So without even reaching some of the other major, I'll say, concerns that Mr. Askew raised as it relates to the conduct and limitations, and Mr. McFarland hit on many of those as well. And the court has those concerns, but having reached the conclusion that the durable power of attorney, frankly, has at a minimum been neglected to the point that it's a significant breach of her obligations, I am appointing a guardian to make those care decisions for Mr. Ewing, and that will be Ms. Karen Mueller. As it relates to the conservatorship, conservatorship 2 requires a finding of incapacity. I've made that finding and articulated that finding as it relates to the basis for guardianship, and I'll rely on those conclusions for purposes of the conservatorship. Again, the court is required to honor any financial planning documents that Mr. Ewing may have executed. He has executed, in this case, a power of attorney appointing his daughter to make those financial decisions on his behalf. But again, here, the primary reason for an appointment, such as a power of attorney for finances, is to ensure that Mr. Robert Ewing, his finances are taken care of. And this does, I'll say, directly affect his care as well. It's really very consistent through the testimony of the staff at Spring Creek, as well as Ms. Blank herself, that she's not able to reside in her father's home as he wishes without utilizing his funds. The problem with that arrangement is that Mr. Robert Ewing needs his funds in order to maintain his housing. So the deliberate attempts to divert funding from housing Mr. Robert Ewing to supporting housing Ms. Blank is a very significant breach of fiduciary obligations, regardless of whether or not Mr. Ewing would want it that way. As a power of attorney under the statutes, Ms. Blank has an obligation to make sure that Mr. Robert Ewing maintains housing and maintains housing with his funds. So I'll just say that. And the other thing I just want to make an observation on is Mr. Robert Ewing is not going to be around forever. So it may be very well the case that Ms. Blank has to figure out the answers to how she's going to afford to live in Mr. Ewing's home, which he wants her to have, apparently, after he's gone without his Social Security funding. So these are challenges that every family faces that are in similar circumstances. But as a fiduciary, the primary reason to appoint, again, a fiduciary in a power of attorney capacity is to provide for funds to support that person. And that has to stay in place. And even today's testimony demonstrates that if the court were to allow the power of attorney to remain in place, there's the absolute intention to try to move Mr. Ewing to perhaps a facility that may or may not cost less than Spring Creek. However, with the patient pay determination that's been completed from the state level, I highly doubt that any of that amount would change. And that Ms. Blank would find herself in the same situation that she does now, which is a choice between paying for housing for her father or paying for housing for herself in her father's home. And that she would make the choice to pay for herself in her father's home, presumably relying on the good graces of whatever place Mr. Robert Ewing currently resides in. But of course, that's a very significant breach of fiduciary duties that the court cannot allow. So I am also granting the appointment of the conservator in this case, Ms. Barb Mueller, or I'm sorry. Yes. Karen, thank you. We have Barb Todd and Barton, so we gotta go. So yes, it's Karen Mueller that will be taking over. I'll offer some guidance to Ms. Mueller to this extent. Based on the testimony today, it doesn't sound like there is a mortgage on the home that Ms. Blank is residing in. I'll leave it to her and Ms. Blank to work out whatever may allow for Ms. Blank to remain in the home. If that is paying just simply the utilities and the things that need to be paid, then so be it. But there's no question that primarily the funds of Mr. Robert Ewing need to be diverted as they are currently to paying for his care. And so Ms. Muir will certainly be able to continue to see that that's happening and then deal with the rest of Mr. Robert Ewing's potential wishes as well as Ms. Blank's needs as best she can. That is my ruling. Unless there's any questions, that's all for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything, Mr. McFarland?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone.